Hi there, and welcome back to my channel for another video where you will be guided through the steps of healing and clearing shock and trauma, frozen energies out of the sense of hearing. Last time we did a sense of sight, and now we are doing the sense of hearing. Again, I have not a guest present in my office who will not be visual on tape, but he's here. It's my son, and he has a lot of shock and trauma on the sense of hearing. That's why we agreed that he will be present. We looked forward to taping it because we both suffer from the shock and trauma on the sense of hearing. I know the first time I did the sense of hearing, I think it was 2015 or 2016. Until that day, I could not handle the ticking of a clock. When I went to sleep at friends' places, I always had to get rid of the ticking of the clock because it drove me crazy. After doing that healing evening of clearing shock and trauma on the sense of hearing, it was over. I can handle the ticking of a clock again. What caused that? Well, that was really interesting. It turned out to be a traumatic past life death, where the last hours of my life I was not able to move. I think that previous incarnation had a kind of stroke or whatever. And the previous incarnation I was a male and I was lying on the ground. I was not able to move myself, and the only thing I heard was the ticking of the clock. Once that trauma was cleared, I had no issues anymore. So perhaps you have in your life a certain sound which is really difficult for you to handle. Do you have a certain sound which is difficult to handle for you?
Al het heel erg harde, gewoon geraas.
Geraas?
Ja, echt heel erg lawaai, gewoon heel erg veel lawaai van machines.
Loud sounds is difficult for you. And do you only have that with sounds, like sounds of machines, or also different things?
En dat is ook andere dingen.
Because I remember that, or I know that when someone shouts at you very loud, you freeze. That's true, isn't it? So we're going to work on that also, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of viewers who have the same. And I hope you have an hour or so and know that this spent hour with me, with us, with healing can change your life. So if you really want to receive change, then relax, sit back and receive the healing. I am going to set up as usual a healing space. So we are in a protective space, we are in an altered state of being, where healing is more easy to receive. And healing is that stuff is being processed, the trauma is being released, the shock is being released, the highlighted emotions are being released, the karma is being completed, and a lot of other things will happen, and for each individual different stuff will happen. But for now we are going to focus on setting up the healing space. I am a participant since 2008 of a mystery school in the Netherlands, and that is a Spiritual Arts Academy, and accordingly to the Spiritual Arts Academy I'm going to set up the healing space. And of course I mentioned the Spiritual Arts Academy because he is the one who taught me this type of healing. So special thanks to Joseph Holtze. And for now, let's welcome ourselves here. Let's be grounded, aligned and centered. Let's be one with the higher self, subconscious self as higher self. Let's merge and create a state of unity between our conscious and subconscious selves. And our subconscious selves, let's accept a state of unity. As higher self, let's merge and create a connection with the higher self, the planet. Higher self, the moon. Higher self, the sun. Higher self, the cosmos. Let's call in the ages of high magic, inviting the guides, spirits, energies that will be of greatest benefit of this healing. And let us pray that this experience benefit each of us in our spiritual growth, healing and awareness. Let's create a magical circle, a magical shield on the outside of the circle so that whatever happens within is protected and confidential. And as usual, fewer space is being created for me or for you. And it's a separate space. I see a few separate healing spaces being created by the healing agencies. Why is that? They tell me it's for different types of sounds, trauma on sound. It might be by voice, it might be by machinery, or by different kind of like bullet gun shots being fired. And the moment those separate healing spaces evolve, a synergy from within emerges, and you all match with each other and assist each other and support each other in healing more easy. And as always, we're going to work on a incarnational string, working with your past lives, your past incarnations, where perhaps shock, trauma, frozen energies, or a certain panic is causing you to suffer in this life. And also the family tree will be worked on, because if one of your ancestors died horrifically in a war or in an accident or in any other way, it can be passed down the bloodline and you suffer from it. And you sometimes do not even know why you suffer, because it's passed down from bloodline. So that will be worked on. We're going to work on the event space spiral. We're going to work on the timeline, your current lifetime, 3 years before birth, 3 months within the future. I just have to listen for a moment, come back into myself again. And all these tools will exist in the spiritual plane, mental plane, astral plane, etheric plane. They will be worked on simultaneously on all these planes, so it's also synergetic. So it might be that I focus on the timeline, but simultaneously they might be working in the mental plane in the incarnational string, or they might be working on the astral plane in the bloodline, or they might be working on the spiritual plane in the event space spiral. Doing this simultaneously, there is synergy occurring and emerging from within. And it's like you do a boost healing, you do it really quickly. In the old days, you would do it one by one by one, but my angels trained me already for a few years now to do it simultaneously. So for testing purpose, I'm going to take the topic of my son in mind. Is that okay with you?
Welk topic?
The clearing of pain, panic, shock, trauma, frozen energies on the hearing sense caused by loud machines, by loud noises, or by loud voices. Yeah? You agree? So, in a few months we can say if it worked. Well, perhaps if the healing, if you are really ready to receive this healing, I think you will notice the effects already this coming week at school and at home with me. Would you like that?
Bij de boerderij vooral.
And on the farm. So they show me that we are going to start with working on the timeline, starting 3 years before birth. And before doing now proceeding, we have to connect with a few healing agencies. And we're going to call in the magical tools, and each of you have their own personal magical tool chest, and that depends on your personal development from this life, but also from all your previous incarnations. And it might be that you've worked in previous incarnation a lot with the magic wand, and still during this life it doesn't appear. That can have different causes. There might be a black magic being cast upon you that you cannot use it, or your soul chose to work with other tools. That's fine too. Before we start doing that, calling in several tools and several planes of consciousness, you are now ready to call in your spiritual support team. And you can call in your spiritual support team now. That might be your head guide, holy guardian angel, and I noticed there are a few viewers who might benefit from another video of mine that is upgrading your guides, your angels and your destiny. You can either choose to stop this video and first watch that one, or continue and do it later. For those who are ready to continue, let's continue. And for those who first would like to do an upgrade of their guides, their angels and their destiny, you can click over there. Or over there, I'm not sure, somewhere. And get back to the video in the later moment in time. And for those who stayed, let's call in the magical wand, magical cauldron. The magical cauldron will discharge the emotional charge on a picture, on a memory, or on a thought form. Call in a magical lantern. It's like a spotlight which shows all the connecting pictures, thought forms, memories. It does show a lot of things, and if that doesn't work, we always have the magic sniffer. The magic sniffer is tied to the sense of the smell. And sometimes visuals can trick you because they're not always real, but the sense of smell almost never fools people. So the magic sniffer sniffs out all undetected causes of shock and trauma. And let's call in all the other magical tools, which is not necessary to name all on a YouTube video. And I request the angels of the high laws to connect us now with the consciousness of the music of the spheres. And give it a few moments to appear. You will either hear it or feel it or know that there is now a connection with the music of the spheres. And often there are angelic choirs connected to the music of the spheres, where a lot of tones will heal your sense of hearing. I always like to work with angelic choirs. They always make me smile. They make me happy. And let's now focus on the topic of clearing pain, panic, shock, trauma and frozen energies. And that all will be cleared when we bump into it onto the timeline. So we start 3 years before birth. And why is that? 3 years before birth you plan your life, your current lifetime. There are a few points in life which are fixed and the rest is all variable. And the nice thing is when you start 3 years before life, we can call in the Akashic Record Keeper, and they can call in the appropriate healing agencies who are allowed and have the seniority and authority to change your current life plan. And all related to the sense of hearing. And it might be that you will get pretty cold during this healing because of the frozen energies being released. When frozen energies are being released, most often they were stuck in time, and angelic healing agencies will also take care of that. Those stuck self aspects will grow up to total present time. And I'm going to count from 1 to 100. 3 years before birth, 3 months into the future. And the goal is to process all pain, panic, shock, trauma, frozen energies on the sense of hearing. And also all karma will be completed, all pictures will be processed and cleared. Foreign pictures, foreign energies will be cleared. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 'And on the time we have been working right now, I noticed that a lot of movement is going on in the incarnational string. That is logical because we are working on the time before birth or the first 7 years of life. And a lot of shock, trauma, frozen energies on a incarnational level, on a soul level is being processed at the moment, all tied to the sense of hearing. And most likely that can be death pictures, meaning when your past incarnation had a traumatic death tied to loud noises, it's now being processed, it's being healed. It also, for a few viewers, their life path is shifting onto a higher path of destiny due to processing this painful stuff. A lot of grace is being provided. The law of grace is working on a high rate. Together with the law of identity, the law of grace, the law of responsibility is working in a high gear, allowing destiny to shift upon a higher path of destiny, allowing life plans to be transformed, where the life lessons tied to the pain, shock and trauma on the sense of hearing will come easy. You don't have to suffer that much anymore. You just can receive the insight tied to the painful noises. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and if you fall asleep during this healing, that's fine, that's okay. It's the best way to process the healing while being out of body. So your physical body can charge and your spirit also. 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and it might be that you encountered a situation in life which triggered a past life trauma tied to the sense of hearing, and it can also be cleared and processed during this healing. So no matter when you got triggered, it's an old and covered up wound from your past on the soul level, it's from another lifetime, and it can be processed completely. And it will also process completely during dream state healing, and also the trauma coming from a bloodline can be processed. And let's continue. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, and soon you are halfway your life. And it can be that certain memories arise, you see them flashing before your eyes. Just observe them, let them go. There's a lot being processed for you on the subconscious level and within the higher mind. The angelic choirs are supporting your healing the sense of hearing. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. And what's interesting, that not only the healing occurs on the sense of hearing, but what I also notice is that the vocal cords are receiving healing at the moment also, because it might be that you have been shouting for whatever reason, and that could be shouting because you felt trauma or you felt panic or whatever. So not only the sense of hearing is being healed today, but also the vocal cords. And with the vocal cords being healed, there's also work is being done on the 5th chakra. '61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. And allow yourself as spirit to give your body a few deep breaths. And remember, while deep breathing, you massage your internal organs and allowing your emotions to process more easy. And it's more easy to get back into your etheric body again, be fully embodied. 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. And I notice in the female viewers also there's a lot of stirring going on in the 2nd chakra and the female sexual organs. Stuff are being cleared, a lot of hysterical energies are being cleared, tied to the sense of hearing, tied to expression, and more pain, panic, shock and trauma, frozen energies are being released. Also a lot of helplessness is being cleared out. Stuck tears, stuck screams are being cleared out. And the angelic choir is helpful for clearing out the stuck screams. Screams which were never expressed, are now on a spiritual plane being expressed, so they don't block your vocal cords anymore. 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 89, 90, and take a moment to become aware how you feel. How are you doing at this moment? It might be that you are simply in process, a lot of stuff is moving out of your chakras, purging out of the aura layers, purging out the organs. $90. And this is now the last period of your current life at this moment, because we're going to today and 3 months into the future. 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, and we are with the last step, 100. That is your complete life, including 3 months into the future. Why is that? Because we are clearing the spiritual plane, mental plane, astral plane, etheric plane. Events occurring in those planes which form the future, which form your life, are being healed also so they benefit our future life. Take a few deep breaths. Open your eyes if you like. Stretch a little bit. Or keep being asleep, that's fine too. And I notice that the healing agencies are now focusing on the incarnational string. They create a top 10 of your previous incarnations where a lot of pain, panic, hysteric energies, shock, trauma, frozen energies are all tied to the sense of hearing. And the top 10 past lifetimes are now receiving healing from them, from the angelic choirs. A lot of energy is dripping out of the incarnational string, also from the viewers. There's a lot of grief being processed, a lot of tears. Also for those who had incarnations in Africa, there are a few regions, areas where it is tradition to be loud when someone dies, but somehow for a few viewers it got stuck on the sense of hearing, and they clear it out because it's most likely you are now incarnated in a different area of the world. That might be South America, that might be Europe, that might be Asia. For each view it's different. And all that shock and trauma is being cleared, it's being processed. It can also be, I see one viewer who got a few times the verdict for his crimes, the death verdict, and that really froze him in time over and over again. So he's receiving now, from the angels of justice, he receives a lot of grace the pain of the hearing the death verdict is being cleared. I also see viewers who did not receive the death verdict themselves, but they heard it for loved ones, and that's brought shock and frozen energies upon them. That's being cleared. I also noticed that there are viewers who carry shock caused by, how's it called? I'm not sure. Earthquakes. When a severe earthquake hit the earth, and that can be in this lifetime, or it can be like many thousands of years ago, if it is a previous incarnation and that earthquake caused a lot of noise, that got you really shook up, that got you scared. It did a lot of things, and all those noises are influencing your current lifetime, and that is being cleared at the moment. You're receiving a lot of grace, being able to let it go without processing it in real life in a traumatic way. You can receive it now, the processing in a gentle way, in a pleasant way, just by listening to a YouTube video and by being aware of the healing agencies surrounding you, offering you this grace, this healing. I hear a lot of crying of kids, crying of not understanding what's going on around them. I see also viewers, Hispanic viewers, which suffered a lot of trauma. I see one viewer, I know this viewer already for I think about 15 years. He's from, I would say, from the hood, or how you call it, from LA. He is not aware in 2021 of my videos, but in a later point in time, but he's really spiritually gifted, he just doesn't know it yet. And he contacts me already for many years, and there's a lot of processing going on, a lot of trauma being cleared, the shock of gunshots, and also the reaction after the gunshot, and also the energy is being sucked out of him, going to an entity. And that I see a lot of viewers relate with. And I now ask the angel of the higher laws to call in the Cosmic Hall of Justice, several Cosmic Hall of Justices, around each viewer who it concerns, and allow the Cosmic Hall of Justice to provide deep level of soul justice and deep level of personal justice. Excuse me. I see also US viewers watching who are now processing on the sense of hearing the sound of the whip, the whip the white people used on slaves. And that's really interesting, because it's not only the sound of the whip, but also tied to it is the immense physical pain and the physical pain forced those souls out of their body to be able to handle the pain. And all that pain, all that trauma, that suffering is being processed at the moment, and also during dream state healing. And I noticed that the angel of forgiveness are entering the space, and they are setting up a global ritual for forgiveness tied to sounds tied to suffering. So that might be either the whip for slavery, that there's a lot of forgiveness emerging from within, but also so many other sounds are tied to death or tied to other traumatic incidents. Sounds are also tied to rape. And this ritual of global forgiveness brings a certain calmness into the space. And when this calmness appears, you are able to process the rape, you are able to process the torture, you are able to process the suffering. And I notice another aspect is emerging, and that is has to do with childbirth. The absence of hearing a sound, hearing the baby cry or not, the absent hearing those first sounds of a baby can cause you to freeze. The realization, oh my God, my baby is not good, it's dead. That causes a lot of freeze, it stirs a lot of emotions. And what happens if you do not process this energy within your womb, if you're female, it is difficult to connect to your creational powers. So it's really important to take the time to clear out this type of shock, so you can access your own womb again. You can access your own creational powers again. And there's a lot of acceptance going on into the viewer space. A lot of trauma is being processed. I'm grateful to all the viewers for finding courage within to go through this process of today's video. It's nice that you take the time for yourself and for others to heal this in the sense of hearing. And I remember we have this Dutch painter, Van Gogh. He cut off his ears, or one ear. I can imagine that he was hearing through this ear, that he heard voices. And during a moment of being really drunk, he thought van, well, I want these voices to stop talking to me. And he cut off his ear. Well, I'm pretty sure it didn't help. It just got him a lot of bleeding. So let's now also take some time to process all the pain, panic, shock, trauma, frozen energies, hysteric energies caused to the inner hearing, the hearing of voices, hearing a negative voice talking to you. Because hearing a negative voice can make you suffer. You're not good enough. Or you might have had, like me, I had a demon out of sight of my space saying over and over again, break his neck, break his legs. That is pretty traumatic. Perhaps you had different messages. And as long as you have a healthy sense of who you are able to resist what you are being told to. But still, it's not pleasant to hear. And that can be causing some difficulties, that it is difficult to have others tell you what to do. And it's not that you want to disrespect those people who tell you what to do, but it is just by telling you what to do, this old fear of voices telling you what to do might be lit up, and if you're not able to process that adequate, it can cause a lot of behavioral problems. So why don't we now take some time? There are some more angels entering the space, some angelic authorities, and they are setting up and performing a ritual that contracts, agreements, pacts, and whatsoever, vows, family spells, curses, family curses, causing that darker being to communicate with you. It might be that you had in a previous lifetime a mediumistic gift, and that you had agreements that they talk to you, and have all these agreements and what I just mentioned before, have those be ended now, have the karma be completed, and allow all the frozen and shock energies of those messages be cleared out of the sense of hearing. And remember, we have the angelic choir. The angelic choir is like almost the opposite of it. And just by singing to us, singing into the viewer space, all these lit up stuff will be dissolving, and a lot of emotions can be freed up out of the heart, but also from other places. I mean, for me it was really hard to receive my child 13 years ago, because I looked so forward having him. But what I didn't see coming was the severe karma we had, the karmic ties. We have been working on it a lot. And also today is now a beautiful day to end all this unnecessary pain I am still carrying with me. 13 years ago, a post-traumatic depression was triggered when my boy came into my life. That even if I love him dearly, that postnatal depression was triggered and made life hell. And because of my nature, I did not seek further help with normal doctors, mental care doctors, because as I recognized that the voices were outside of me and not me, but something else, it was not identified as myself by myself, I knew I had to find different healing paths, different healing methods, which I did over the last 13 years, and I'm really happy that I can make, together with all of you, another step in healing. Well, Healing is never boring. It's not always fun. But it's better to process this stuff when you get the opportunity to process it. And I see a certain healing agency entering the space. And it brings in some other healing agencies. Ladies of Dharma. I also feel there's a lot on my, I don't know how it's called, I write it down here. A lot of tension is flowing out there. Well, it's always interesting to do a healing video when somebody else is present. Whole other stuff is then showing up. That's a nice part of it, that I do this healing, witnessing the steps being performed by all the healing agencies, because before taping this video I didn't come up with the idea of healing and clearing the shock and trauma caused by inner voices on the sense of hearing. Yeah. But it's definitely a thing. And I do realize that a lot of viewers are not even on the level of recognizing a foreign inner voice or your own authentic inner voice, and that's okay. Just know that you have the help of your higher self, you have the help of your spirit, your soul, your holy guardian angel, your head guide, and all of the other healing agencies assisting you to identify what is your own inner voice and what is a foreign voice talking to you. So they make the distinction for you if you cannot do that for yourself. Trust that they will identify it for you. And that also will be healed during dream state healing for the next 7 nights. And with this healing comes to an end. I think it was pretty intense, but it was fine, it's okay. And I'm going to ask the healing agencies to provide for everyone a complete healing closure, including a past life aura update, current life aura update. I'm gonna request for providing a total new grounding, aligned to total present time for the next 7 nights, each morning at 8 o'clock. And I'm gonna request for each viewer a golden sun envelope. The golden sun envelope will retrieve all of your energies back to you in a nice big golden sun above your head. It will be raised to its highest creator vibration, purified, and divine joy, divine wisdom, divine grace, and divine self-love will merge with your own energies, and the energies from this golden sun envelope will flow down, filling up your 7th chakra, flowing down, filling up the 6th chakra, flowing down, filling up the 5th chakra, flowing down, filling up the heart chakra, flowing down, filling up the 3rd chakra, flowing down, filling up the 2nd chakra, flowing down, filling up the 1st chakra, and expanding out, filling up all of your aura layers in front of you, behind you, left of you, right of you, above you, below you, and expanding out, filling up your whole physical body, which is you, all of the organs, and calling the law of microcosm, macrocosm, filling up your astral body, mental body, spiritual body. And What happens often that is that a viewer falls asleep during the healing. My son also, and when almost finishing up, he woke up again. That's pretty normal. And angels will also close the healing space by calling in the law of unity with the intention to dissolve the unity. So whenever you leave this video, you will be back to yourself and no longer being part of this group. And you will receive 7 nights of dream state healing. You will be receiving guidance to the healing temple for the next 7 nights. And there this healing will come to its fullest development. So your trauma will be processed on the sense of hearing and with all other stuff tied to it, like the vocal cords, the 5th chakra, 2nd chakra, sexual organs. And it might be normal that the coming days you might be a little bit more exhausted than normal. You feel more need to sleep. It might be that you feel more emotions or flashing memories in front of your eyes during the coming week, and that's all normal. Let me know what happened for you. Let me know what transformed for you. If you had certain complaints about certain noises, if they still bother you or not. And if you know someone who can benefit from this healing, please share this video. And I hope to see you next time. The next time we do a completely different video. It will be about clearing the need and the causes for gaming and gaming addiction, and disrupting family life, disrupting school life, etc. After that, the 3rd video of the series will be published, and that will be the video of healing the sense of touch and intimacy. So I look forward to that, and I'm gonna request the Angel High Magic to reset our grounding to total present time, be a spirit in an etheric body. How do you feel?
Like we just woke up, which is true. So.
Did you have a nice nap?
Yes, very nice.
Did you realize that you were gone so long?
I thought it wasn't even sleeping. I thought I just had my eyes closed for like 2 minutes.
Ah, well, that was a few minutes more, but when I edit the video, we know how long you were sleeping. So, like I said, thanks for watching. See you next time.
Bye.
I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for participating. Thank you for trusting. And hope to see you next time. Bye bye.